Now, let's go back to question 2. The question one says, consider the basis. Please, for this topic, before you solve, understand. Understand before you solve, understand. Consider the basis. S. We are given that the basis of S is what? 1, 2 and what? 2, 3. And the basis of S prime is what? 1, 3 and what? 1, 4 of R2. The R2 means n tuples. It means there are two datas or two information. That's the meaning. Find the change of basis. Change of basis matrix P. Change of basis matrix P. It means we are looking for P from S to S prime. It means we want to write from, I've told you before that from means we want to write the basis of S prime as a linear combination of bases of S. That is from S to S prime. But the question now says B, the second part, B. It says find the change of basis matrix Q from S prime back to S. This one is different from this. From S prime back to S. It means for this one, we want to write the basis of S prime as a linear combination of the basis of S. But this one, S to S prime, we want to write the basis of S as a linear combination of the basis of S prime. Now, solution. Now, from here, we are given that what? So, I want to write out the parameter that is V1 equal to V1. I'm referring to question A now. It says from S to S prime. So I'm making references to the basis of S prime, which is V1. And the V1 is what? This is U1, this is U2, this is V1, this is what? V2. So V1, which is 1, 3, right? But it will now be X U1 plus, or let's say X1 U1 plus what? X2 U2, which means I've written the basis of S from S as a linear combination of a basis from S prime, which is V1, which means I will now substitute the value. What is my V1? 1, 3 equal to X. What is my U1? 1, 2 plus X plus, sorry, it is Y2 here. It is Y1 here, not S2. It's a mistake. Y1 brackets. What is our U2? U2 is what? 2, 3. Are we getting it? I've written V1, which is the basis of S prime, as a linear combination of all the bases of S, as you can see. So, but it must be in colon. It will now be 1 and 3, 1, 3 equal to this X, we open the bracket. This is 1, 2. It will now be X bracket 1 and 2 is now in colon, as you can see, plus what? Y1 bracket what? 2 and 3, as you can see here. So from here now, I will now what? I will open the bracket. From here it will now be what? 1, 3 is equal to X times 1, X. We are using X1, that is X1. X1 times 2, 2X1, I close it for this, plus Y1 times 2, that is what? 2Y1, and what? Y1 times 3, 3Y1, I close it. Now from here, this plus this will give us this. It will now give us X1 plus 2Y1 equal to 1, equation 1. And what? 2X1 plus 3Y1 equal to what? 3, equation what? Equation 2. But if I want to eliminate X1, let me multiply it by 2, so that it will be of the same coefficient. 2X1, right? 2 times 2, 4, plus 4Y1 equal to 2 times 1, 2. Now, 2 what? X1 for the second one plus 3y1 equals to what? 3, as you can see. Now, I can easily eliminate x here. Minus 2x1 cancel 2x1. 4y1. Don't forget the minus will affect everything. 4y1 minus 3y1. Y1 equal to 2 minus 3 minus 1, which means y1 equals to what? Minus 1. I've gotten y1. Now substitute y1 into, I want to use equation 1. You can use any equation. This is simultaneous equation. So it will now be what? X1 plus 2y1. What is y1? Minus 1. Equal to, I'm using equation 1, equal to 1. I can use this, I can use this, I can use any one. So x1, 2 times minus 1, that is what? Minus 2. Equal to what? 1. As you can see here, we can collect like 10. So x1 will now be 1 plus what? Plus 2 by crossing become plus. So x1 equal to 3. So in conclusion, I want to conclude here. X1 equal to 3. X1 equal to 3. And Y1 equal to minus 1. Don't forget, we want to write this as a linear combination, which means that V1 equal to, I'm making reference to this, X1 is what? 3U1 plus y1. What is my y1? Minus 1. But because of the minus, plus times minus. Minus what? u2. What is there is minus 1. Minus 1 is still minus u1. If it is 2, minus 2 u2. If it is 3, minus 3 u2. If it is 4, minus 4 u2, like that. So I've gotten my v1. Remaining what? v2. Now for v2, which means I'm done with writing basis v1 as a linear combination of all the bases of S. Now I want to use v2 now as a what? Linear combination. v2 will now be what? x2 u1 plus what? y2 u2. I want to write v2, which is 1, 4, as a linear combination of all the bases of S, which is u1 and u2, as you can see. The same pattern. So from here, we can say v2. Let me continue here. Now from here, v2 is what? 1 and 4, or 1, 4, equal to x2 bracket. What is my u1? u1 is what? 1, 2 plus y2 bracket. What is my u2? 2, 3. From here, I open the bracket, but before that, it must be in form of colon matrix. It will now be 1 and 4 in colon equal to x2 bracket 1 and 2 plus what? y2 bracket what? 2 and 3. So from here, I can continue, open the brackets. It will now be what? From here, I continue. It will now be making reference to this. 1 and 4 equal to x2 times 1, x2. x2 times 2, 2x2, close it, plus y2 times 2, 2y2, y2 times 3, 3y2, close it. Now from here, it is very clear that this plus this equals to 1. That is x2 plus 2y2 equal to 1. Equation 1. And it is clear that 2 what? 2x2 plus 3y2 equal to 4. Equation what? Equation 2. I solve it simultaneously again. Let me multiply this by 2 so that I can easily eliminate s2. So it will now be what? It will now be 2x2 plus 2 times 2, 4. 4y2 equal to 2 times 1, 2. So I want to use elimination method to generate my value. Now, 2x2 minus 2x2 becomes 0. 4y2 minus, don't forget we are subtracting, 3y2, that is y2, equal to 2 minus 4, minus 2. My y2 is what? Minus 2. Substitute y2 into equation what? Into equation 1 or any equation to generate your x2. So I'm using equation 1. So x2, this is my x2. x2 plus 2y2. What is y2? Minus 2. Equal to what? 1. Which means that x2 plus times minus minus 2 times 2, 4, equal to 1. Collect like terms. X2 will now be what? 1 plus 4. So which means x2 is equal to 5. So in conclusion, x2 equal to 5, as you can see, and what? y2 equal to what? Minus 2. But don't forget, it must be in form of linear combination, which is this. Which means v2, this is my final answer now, will now be x2. What is my x2? 5. u1 plus, what is my y2? Minus 2. Because of the minus, it will become minus what? Minus 2 u what? u2. So now, making reference to v1 and v2, which means that my final answer here, my final answer here will now be what? Since I've gotten my v1, please don't forget I'm still in question A. I just finished question A. v1 is what? v1 is 3 u1 minus u2, and v2 is what? v2 is 5 u1 minus what? 2 u2. Now for these two now for me to, the question says find the change of basis matrix P for question A. Now I want to write this as basis matrix P, which means my P will now be what? Don't forget, P is the what? The transpose of what I've gotten here. So I'm picking out the coefficient. What is the coefficient of u1 here? 3. This is row, but it will be in form of colon. Transpose means changing all the row to colon. The coefficient of u2 here is what? Minus 1. There is an invisible one here. Minus u2 means minus 1 u2. Minus 1. This one is what? 5. This one is what? Minus 2. This is my final answer. 3 minus 1 and what? 5 minus 2 is for question A, which means I've written the change of basis matrix P as this, changing it from S to S prime. Now, coming back to question B, let's go to B, the B parts. Now for the B parts, the B now says, find the change of, the B says, find the change of basis matrix Q. It's now Q now, not P. It can be anything just to represent the change of basis matrix. Find the change of basis matrix Q from S prime. Please note, from S prime back to S. From S prime. S prime, which means I want to write S, or I want to write basis of S as a linear combination of basis of S prime, the reverse case of this. Which means in this case, now please note, in this case, note, as you can see, I'm cleaning it now. In this case, I want to write, please don't do mistake here, I want to write S, the basis of S, and the basis of S are what? 1 and 2, as a linear combination of the basis of all the bases of S prime, which means in this case, my V1 is this, my V2 is this. In this case, my U1 is this, and my U2 is this. Why? Because I want to write change of basis matrix Q from S prime. S prime is now my U1, U2, and my V is now in S to S, which means I want to change it back to the basis of S. I will now write basis of S as a linear combination of the basis of S prime, which means that my V1 will now be this, V2 will now be this in this question, and my U1 will now be this, U2 will now be this. Which means in that case, now from here, now let's go. I'm very sure we understand it. Math is concept. I want to write the basis of S as a linear combination of the basis of S prime. That is the meaning. Which means V1 is equal to X1 U1 plus what? Y1 U2. Don't forget my V1 is now this and this. So, and what? V2 will now be what? X2 U1 plus what? Y2 U2. So let's continue. I'm starting with the first one. V1. What is my V1 now? 1 and 2 direct. Instead of writing this in form of row, just write it in form of colon direct. 1 and 2 equal to X1 bracket. What is U1? 1 and 3 direct. Instead of writing it like this, plus Y1. Please, I'm making reference. Let me even write it out so that it can be very clear. I'm working with V1 now. Let me write it out. V1 equal to X1 U1 plus what? Y1 U2. I'm working with V1 now. Starting with V1. What is my V1? 1 and 2 in colon equal to X1. What is U1 now? 1 and 3 in colon plus Y1. What is my Y1? Sorry, plus Y1. What is my U2? 1 and 4 in colon. So I continue my solving. We open the brackets. It will now be what? Making reference to this. It will now be 1 and 2 in colon. Now, X1 times 1. X1. X1 times 3. 3X1. I close it. Plus Y1 times 1. Plus Y1. Y1 times 4. 4 what? 4Y1. I close it. So this plus this gives 1. That is X1 plus Y1, as you can see, equal to 1. Equation 1. That is 3 what? 3X1 plus what? 4Y1 equals to what? 2. Equation what? 2. If I want to eliminate X, which means this is 3, I have to multiply equation 1 by what? By 3, so that I can eliminate X1. So it will now be what? 3X1 plus what? 3Y1 equals to what? 3. Working with this, 3X1 plus what? 4Y1 equal to what? 2. So I can eliminate equation 1 from 2 or 2 from 1. 4 is bigger than 3. So let's do equation 2 minus equation 1. 3x1 minus 3x1, 0. Elimination method. 4y1 minus 3y1. That is what? Y1 equal to, please, is this minus this now, not this minus this. Equation 2 minus equation 1. So 4y1 minus 3y1, y1. 2 minus 3 minus 1. I've gotten my y1 as what? Minus 1. Substitutes y1 into equation 1 to get my x1. It will now be what? X1 plus, what is my y1? Minus 1. It will now be minus 1 equal to 1. Collect like terms. X1, this is minus 1. X1 plus y1. But because my y1 is minus 1, it will now be minus 1. I'm very sure it's clear. Equal to 1. So collect like terms. It will now be 1 plus 1. So x2 equal to what? 2. I've gotten my x2 as 2. But don't forget, the question says we want to write this as a linear combination from here, which means therefore v1, making reference to this, equal to x1 u1 plus y1 u2. What is my x1? My x1 is what? 2. 2 what? u1 plus, supposed to be plus, but because of the minus in y1, it will now be minus, and it is 1. Minus 1 times u1 is minus, times u2. Minus 1 times u2 minus u2. This is my first basis. Oh, sorry. Come now. Okay, from here. V1 is this. I've gotten my V1. Now I want to go to V2. I'm just through with this. Please don't forget, this is question B. Sorry, this is question B. I'm done with the part A. I'm referring to B now. I've gotten V1, remaining V2. Which means for V2, it will now be what? For V2, what is my V2? Let me write V2 first. V2 equal to X2 U1 plus what? Y2 U what? U2. Now, what is my V2? 2 and 3 in column, not in row, so that it can be fast. What is my X2? Unknown. Bracket U1 is what? 1 and 3. 1 and 3 plus U2. U2, sorry, plus Y2 unknown, bracket U2, 1 and 4. Then I open the brackets from here. It will now be 2 what? 2 and 3 equal to X2, 3X2, as you can see. Open the brackets. X2 times 1, X2, X2 times 3, 3X2, plus Y2 times 1, that is what? Y2, and what? 4 what? 4Y2. I close it. Now from here, we can see that this plus this equal to 2. That is X2 plus Y2 equal to 2, equation 1. That is what? 3 what? 3X2 plus 4Y2 equal to 3, equation what? Equation 2. From here now, I can solve it simultaneously to eliminate X2, multiply equation 1 by what? By 3. It will now be what? 3X2 plus 3Y2 equal to 3 times 2, 6. This one will now be 3X2 plus what? 4Y2 equal to what? 3. Now from here now, I want to eliminate X2. Because of the 4 here, 3. I can say this minus this. 4, so 3X2 minus 3X2, 0. 4Y2 minus 3Y2. That is Y2. Which means Y2 equal to 3 minus 6 minus 3. My Y2 is what? My Y2 is equal to minus 3. Since I've gotten my Y2 as minus 3, what next? Substitute. Substitute what? Y2 into, I can use equation 1 into equation 1. I continue here. I continue here. I continue here. It will now be what? So it will now be making reference to this using equation 1. So that is X2 plus Y2. My Y2 is minus 3. Minus 3 equal to what? Is equal to 2. Collect like terms. X2 will now be 2 plus 3. So X2 will now be equal to what? 5. So the final answer, V2, making reference to this, V2 equal to XU1, X2U1 plus what? Y2U2. So from here, we have gotten, initially we have gotten our what? Our X2 is what? 5, and our Y2 is what? Y2 is minus 3, which means it will now be what? V2 equal to what? 5U1, because of the minus in Y2, minus 3, because my Y2 is 3, minus 3 what? U2. I'm following this. X2 is 5, Y2 is what? Minus 3, which means in conclusion, V1, I have not gotten my final answer. V1, I'm making reference to my first answer, V1. 2U1 minus what? U2, and my V2 is what? 5U1 minus 3U2. As we can see here, but I want to write it as a change of basis matrix Q. So the change of basis matrix Q will be the transpose of what I've gotten for V1 and V2. So I'm working with the coefficient. The coefficient here is what? 2. And this one is -1. While that of this is what? 5. And this one is -3. This is the what? Final answer. Which means my Q is what? 2 minus 1 and what? 5 and 3. So this is the what? Answer for question B. As simple as that. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel.